Wherever you are, however you identify, we are glad that you are here and you are welcome, online or in person. UUCF acknowledges that this land is physically situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Ahachiman, Kizh, and Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with Indigenous communities and the earth. Before we get started, we've got a couple of announcements for you. Rosie is here with a sign-up sheet. Now, this is really important because we're talking about snacks. Okay, so now that I've got your attention, Rosie's gonna come around and pass the snack sheet around so that we can have all of that delicious stuff that we get after service. You all do after service meals and snack time really well. Really well. You do a lot of stuff really well. On Tasty Tuesday this week, we will be dining in downtown Fullerton at Madero, $18.99. You can RSVP with Linda Duarte Wolf with that. Linda Summers and Jean Lau encourage everyone to sign up to attend or even host one of our adult circle suppers on March 8th. It is a great way to get to know people better. What a great way. The best way to get to know people is when you are at a meal with them. So hopefully you can get involved with that. We are celebrating Nowruz. That is the Persian New Year on Saturday, March 15th in the afternoon with a tea. And that's going on with the social committee. Mark, do you want to come up and give more information on that?
Good morning. So it's that time of year, Nowruz, Persian New Year is coming up. It's a project that Hanaz and myself do every year, and we have a sign-up sheet. Space is limited. This is a fundraiser. We're not charging per person, but we're going to pass the hat around afterwards, and the proceeds go to our general fund. And also I have at the welcome table a little yearbook from last year's event, so if you want to see what's going on and how much fun we had, it's really nice. Very pleasant afternoon, and I hope to all see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Our administrator, Amy, is updating our new church directory. If you have had any changes to your contact info, maybe a new email address or a defunct landline, please let her know by March 15th. And the Gadabouts is a group of women who get together for lunch from time to time. Let Fran Dobley, I want to get these names right. Dobley. Let Fran know if you are interested. We'll be sharing joys and sorrows a little later in the service, so if you are in the sanctuary and you'd like to share, the slips are located at the back table and you can fill them out up to the time of the end of time for all ages. If you are joining us online, I invite you to post your joy or sorrow in the comments section, as well as saying hello. And now, those of you in the sanctuary are now welcome to take a moment, 1 or 2 minutes, to greet one another. light with one another, we're going to pass it over to Christine. Uh-oh, her mic is not working.
Perfect.
What a difference a button makes.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Christine Araaka, and I'm your accompanist. For those who are new here, welcome. I'm very excited to share that I have a show at Club 616 for those who love Frank Sinatra music. It will be from 7 to 9 this evening. But without further ado, for our opening hymn, we'll be singing This Little Light of Mine. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Sorry, my tablet shifted on me. Joy and grief, health and sickness, light and darkness, peace and anger, life and death, wholeness and brokenness. We each bring all of these here to this sanctuary of unity in diversity for this 1 hour of this one day and pour them out, commingling the oil of our lives to become the flame of this chalice, the symbol of our shared living faith. I now invite Pastor Rob to light the chalice. Please join with me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share. Quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. Dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve the human need, thus do we covenant with one another. It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, a local food bank. As the children come forward, they are asked to collect the donations that are placed at the end of the rows. And now the children are invited to come forward for Time for All Aid.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share in this way. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share in this way.
Hello, 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 hello. No. Hello, 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 hello. Making eye. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was like, I'm making eye contact with Christina. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Watson. I am the teen coordinator here at UUCF. And there is a tradition in a lot of different faith communities, and it's called passing the peace. Has anyone ever heard of that before? So, you know how we, a couple minutes ago, got up and we said hi to people and maybe gave hugs and said, how are you doing? So, in a lot of faith communities, part of that connection with people around them is to say something like, peace be with you, or shalom, or assalam. And that's a way to say that I'm giving you peace. I'm hoping that your life is going well. It might be talking about being merciful, might be talking about justice. But what does peace mean? What does that mean if we say, peace be with you? What are we really saying? What do you think, Michael? Yeah, that we hope that there's peace with them. So there is a book by Vladimir Radinsky called What Does Peace Feel Like? And he asked children all around the world what peace means. And he asked them to think about, what does peace sound like? What does peace look like? What does peace feel like? So I'm going to read some of the questions he asked and the kids' answers. And adults, maybe you've never considered this. Maybe you've never thought, what does peace feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? So before I read the kids' answers, I ask you to kind of consider these questions on your own. So, what does peace smell like? Some of the answers were like a bouquet of fresh flowers in a happy family's living room, like fresh and new furniture, like wind that comes in your nose when you are sleeping, like fresh air that makes you want to go outside and sleep in the sun, like pizza with onions and sausage that just came out of the oven. Delicious. What does peace look like? Like a cat and dog curled up together in a basket? Like new babies just born yesterday? Like a cloud high up in the sky that just happens to be there, giving happiness to everybody, white and fluffy peace? Like your mom that kisses and hugs you? Like something beautiful that goes away but will come back? What does peace sound like? Like a growling bear of war who gets shot by a love arrow and the fighting stops? Like a silent day? Like laughter and happiness, children on their birthday and parents when their children get married? Like raindrops falling? Like everyone's heart beating, making one big sound together? Like voices singing? Like no bad words? What does peace taste like? Like vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream, strawberry ice cream, banana ice cream. The ice cream list was very, very long. Like water, like sweet, definitely not sour. Like sour, but a nice kind of sour. Like your favorite food times 2. What does peace feel like? Like hugs your friends give when you cry? Like the fur of my adorable cat, Alice? Very specific. Like the fur of a baby mouse? Like a lot of fun because you know you're safe? Like someone stroking your back. You shiver a little, but it's a wonderful feeling. Just imagine what we could build with peace. So when we leave right now and you say goodbye to your families, I want you to pass the peace. I want you to give them the peace, however that means to you. Maybe it's a squeeze, a hug, a handshake, a very serious handshake, however you want. Peace be with you. Shalom. Assalam. Let's go to class.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
Those joining us online are invited to share in all caps a joy or sorrow in the comment section in Zoom. I think Rob will light a candle for all those sharing online, and those in the sanctuary will be invited to come forward to light your own candle. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns for the larger world, our wish for peace and justice, our hopes for the children who will inherit this planet. May this candle represent all these wishes and calls to action that are more than we can articulate in this space. And now let us share our personal joys and sorrows in our lives. We have a sorrow from Megan Smock online. She says, missing being in church with our UU community, hoping for relief from pain soon. And Megan, we miss you as well. We have a joy from Bruce. Thank you, Judy, for a wonderful circle dinner last night. We now light one more candle for all those joys, concerns, and sorrows that remain unexpressed but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join in saying the affirmation. We join you in celebrating your Let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath, do whatever helps you find your center. I got out of bed this morning because of all those who had to get out of bed, before me. Martin and Coretta, the day after his home was bombed. What did they tell the children? My father, every day of his young life in Lowndes County, Alabama. John Lewis, after nearly escaping death on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. My ancestors, who were dragged to the U.S. in chains, laid flat like chattel on ships, and survived. They survived and got out of bed each morning. I am sick and tired and grieving and ready to quit this country. But I got out of bed shamed by the thought of letting those ancestors down. For now, that's how I am getting through the day. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Good morning. for the next 3 minutes, then it's a good afternoon. Most of us are old enough to remember that Coca-Cola commercial with the song, "I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony." Do you remember that song? It was 1971. I know. That commercial's goal: add a little carbonation to a song about love and unity and try to turn people away from Pepsi products and only drink Coke. Oh, a song of unity in order to divide people into two groups, Coke and Pepsi drinkers. The idea of unity around one soft drink, manipulated by Coke's brilliant marketing team in order to make more money. And it worked. Song about unity meant only to divide. I don't mean to diminish our current situation with the current administration with a syrupy song from the early 70s. Instead, I want to share a quote that has been making the rounds online lately on the limits of unity. It's often attributed to James Baldwin, but actually written much more recently by a man named Robert Jones Jr. And he writes, "We can disagree and still love each other unless your disagreement is rooted in my oppression and denial of my humanity and right to exist." That is where we are. People being denied the right to exist. Hate crimes are at their highest. In 2023, Los Angeles County reported 1,300 hate crimes. That's up 45% since 2022. These are the latest numbers that we have. Hate crimes against our trans siblings, up 125%. Our Jewish siblings, up 91%. Anti-African American hate crimes, anti-Latina crimes, the highest ever recorded. And this, even before the new or old administration took control. Needless to say, now we add the demonization of immigrants and the demonization of those who need reproductive health care, which have resulted in death. I know that's a lot of statistics and many lives and faces behind those numbers who are suffering or even worse. So what about this idea of unity? Are we to get a Coca-Cola and sing about unity, hoping and wishing, hopes and thoughts and prayers that we in the United States and around the world could just come together and get along? The answer is absolutely not. So let's look at the term unity in terms of spirituality. Unity, in the context of Unitarianism, refers to the belief in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. This, alongside other foundational principles like justice, equity, compassion, and of course, love. The gospel and the Hebrew Bible, at their core, have the same foundation. From the Old Testament in Micah 6:8, to seek justice and to love with kindness and to walk in humility. So here's the deal. If it doesn't have compassion, if it doesn't have love, then it's not about unity, or at least the kind that we prescribe to. It's about power. It's about power. Unity is not the goal. If LGBTQ plus people are denied rights, then unity is not the goal. It's power, it's oppression. Here are its verbs: divide and conquer. Our verbs, while we cohabitate on this planet, to serve, to feed, to march, to bless, no matter orientation, race, religion, gender identity. And here's an important point: to put 100% of our energy and intention by this community into making the world a better place. You know, it all starts with our hearts. It starts in this sanctuary, in these four walls, and we are to carry that energy and intention and focus out into the world. And here's a great piece of wisdom. Don't spend any time trying to convince or change the minds of those who support a movement that is opposite of love. I'll tell you why. And it comes from one of my favorite theologians, Miguel de la Torre. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, "Your energy is finite." That's a hard one to swallow, right? Our energy is finite as humans. That means we only have a certain amount. His advice: don't use that energy to try and convince the oppressors that they are wrong. It will drain you and waste a precious resource, you. Your time and energy. Instead, use that time to do something in the name of justice. And it's the little things, really. Instead of writing and arguing with a Facebook friend regarding divisive issues, take those 3 minutes and call a congressperson. Or check in on someone who you know needs love and needs to know that they are loved. We are called by the UU principles to act now and not wait for love and justice. Again, remember that phrase: act now and not wait for justice. I can tell you that last week I went to the Social Action Committee. Actually, I almost called it the Social Justice Committee, but that would be a mistake. Social Action Committee, because they are in action doing the work. In fact, they're putting together an important and meaningful presentation on disability rights with a panel and a fundraising lunch on March 23rd. We hope you can stay after on that Sunday for a meaningful conversation about what to do now. I keep looking at the idea of unity through the metaphor of a table filled with all different people. There are people sitting and eating and inviting others to be a part of meal. There are people sitting and eating alone. There are people taking other people's food. And there are people denying others a space at the table, or even worse, kicking him out of a table like a middle schooler, a middle school bully. As you've probably noticed, I like to ask a lot of questions and bring those questions to you. The question I ask is, who are we at this table? I'll tell you who we are. We are the first to get up and serve another. We are the first to welcome a stranger. Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. Where is the unity at the table right now? Maybe our unity is with the ones who aren't eating, who are not invited to sit at a table. Maybe our unity is in serving others, or actually, here's one, building new tables for those who don't have seats. We are here to be a part of something bigger than ourselves. But we go home faced with 6 or more days of hopeless 24-hour news cycles, with worries and anxieties at the state of our democracy. This, on top of the normal everyday challenges with family and finances and health and mental health issues and emotional turmoil. Even for those of privilege, it's a lot to deal with. But again, we are part of something bigger than ourselves. I was reading an interview with the great Cornell William Brooks, and what he said about Dr. King regarding hope. He said this of his friend, Dr. King. And what he said was, Dr. King reminded us that hope is not empirically demonstrated, it is morally chosen. Being a part of this church is a choice. And every time you come, every time you get involved, every time you serve, it is a choice based on love and hope. Right now, more than ever, right now, more than ever, it is a time to choose hope and love. To be part of a movement. And in order to be part of a movement, what do we have to do? Move. To get involved, to march, to serve, and to live out the 7 UU principles. Not because we want some kind of reward in a hereafter, but because it's the choice grounded in love and justice. And guess what? That energy has a butterfly effect. I love what Reverend Chris Moore wrote in his sermon on unity. He says, "Please hear me. It is worthy to cry out, to speak deep truth, even if it isn't heard by the powerful. It is good to speak up, to speak out, to stand firm, even if you lose. Justice is worth fighting for, even if the fight lasts longer than our own lives. Maybe the powerful won't listen to us, but when we shout, the powerless hear too. And when they hear you, they realize they are not alone. Solidarity with one another is the only way we are going to make it. Instead of singing a song about a soft drink and a world in perfect harmony, I like the ad campaign for Nike. 3 words, just do it. Just do it. The UU principles are not to just be followed. They are not just a map. They are to be strived for. They are to be put in action. Principle 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Actually, our job is to fight for the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Fight meaning a verb different than fisticuffs. Principle 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Actually, it is our job to fight for justice and equity with compassion. Yes, we are in a time of great turmoil, and there are many working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep the oppressed oppressed and keep the marginalized marginalized. And they are doing this with conviction. So now we are called to love and put love in action with the same conviction and focus. I have a quote here from Marianne Williamson that I put on my bathroom mirror so I can see it first thing in the morning and see it before I go to bed. It's a reminder of the power that we have within and comes from her book called A Return to Love. So let me share that with you. She writes, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of divine love. Your playing small does not serve the world." Let me say that again. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as our children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of divine love that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Let us be that presence. Let us make our presence known. We cannot be in unity with those who deny the rights for others to exist. But we can be in solidarity with those who are having pain inflicted on them right now. But in order to be in solidarity, we have to be passionate about our work. Solidarity requires us matching their conviction of hate with our conviction of love. Solidarity. Maybe that's the word. Maybe that's a better word for a time like this. It's a word with sort of a forward momentum, a word with hope. Solidarity is not even sitting at a table, but using our privilege to build new tables. Using our privilege to build new places and spaces for those who don't have a voice, a place for them to have a voice. Not for us to speak for them. Solidarity is a movement toward a better world. It may be a road less traveled. But as Robert Frost wrote, traveling a road less traveled has made all of the difference. Let us choose that road.
Unitarian Universalism is a grand vision of a world filled with peace, justice, love, and joy. That vision is embodied in a few large congregations, numerous mid-sized congregations, and many, many small congregations. No matter its size, every congregation depends on each of its members. Each one of you, by your commitment of time, energy, and resources, helps make that grand vision real. Individually and together, we are Unitarian Universalists building a world filled with peace and justice, love and joy.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 168, One More Step. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
One more step, we will take one more step till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Our caring listener this week is Christina Garner. You can speak with her after the service if you have any concerns or would simply like to have someone to talk to. And trust that what you share is always confidential.
Please join hands if you wish. We would like to get into a circle. What an appropriate song for the last song we sang. One more step. If we try and save the world and try and take all of this on ourselves, it's too much. But we can do this together, one step at a time, walking in solidarity with one another. We now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. Amen, shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be.